the Isle of Dogs. Human dogs.
Sorry, I'm still eating pizza from last time.
It's kept exceptionally well.
Oh, that's the thing about pizza at pizza. It's like, it's actually not good unless you wait for 3 days.
Yeah.
Oh, that's really good.
Man, this takes me back to our Ninja Turtle days.
Oh, so much Pizza Hut.
How young we were, how full of life. We were
Young, dumb, and full of cum.
rebellious like Raphael. Or is it Michelangelo? No, Mikey's just the fun one.
Yeah, Mikey just likes to have fun and fucking smoke weed.
Yeah, Raph's the kind of pissed off. Did we talk? It would have been really funny if they were like true teenagers, just like really
Jerking off
freaking
all the time.
horny. Yeah, they never actually
really
like
awkward, hate,
yeah,
malicious for no reason.
One of them started like cutting themselves or something. Listening to
That's
American
awful.
football. Yeah,
That's so awful.
I know, I'm sorry. Yeah, they were just really horny. They got
fucking awful.
they got nothing done because they were just gooning all the time.
Yeah. Oh man, can you imagine being a teenager these days? No access to high quality pornography.
More like too much access to high quality pornography.
That's what I'm saying.
Oh, I heard
you couldn't
no
understand
access. Yeah,
you couldn't understand what I was saying because I had pizza in my mouth.
Yeah, that's true.
Listeners, I'm sorry. We're still eating. I'm still eating pizza on Mike.
Yeah,
I'm almost done. I'll save this for later.
Oh,
We're back.
later in the pod, not like later after we're
28
recording.
weeks later.
Hey,
28 weeks later, 2007. Directed by
Danny
Juan
Boyle.
Carlos Frenadio.
Yeah,
Yeah, I think that's how you say his name. I'm not sure.
a Fox Atomic film.
Indeed.
I was so happy to see that logo. Remember Fox Atomic?
No, I don't.
It was like Fox's like genre / comedy imprint. I think they released like 6 movies that all did poorly.
Under Fox Atomic?
Under Fox
Let
Atomic.
me look it up.
Like, do you
That's
remember
crazy.
Turistas?
Yeah, I do. Well,
That-
I watched The Ruins recently, right? And I was thinking of Turistas because it's a similar kind of thing, yeah.
That was a Fox Atomic film. What else was a
Interesting.
Fox Atomic film?
I'm looking it up.
Thank you.
Fox Army.
No.
Fox Atomic. Here we go. Short-lived. Short-lived, that's for sure. Oh, cool logo, eh? The F and the A?
So cool, yeah.
Yeah. Oh, the F is falling on the A.
It's casting like the shadow on the ground of the A.
Yeah. Oh, I get it. Founded 2006, defunct 2009.
3 glorious years of Fox Atomic.
All right. Okay. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. Okay. 7 movies. Can you name, you've named Turistas and 28 weeks later. Can you name another Fox Atomic movie?
I know it wasn't like the first one because I watched that not too long ago, but I think like one of the Hills Have Eyes remakes.
Well done. The Hills Have Eyes too.
Yeah.
Damn, you really know your stuff.
And in terms of other Fox Atomic, I can name movies that I felt like Fox Atomic films.
Well, I can give you a hint. 3 of these are like just bad late 2000s comedies.
Comedies.
Yeah. Just
Late 2000s comedies. Like Horrible Bosses was Fox Atomic.
no, but something like that, but not that.
Fist Fight? That was later than late 2000s.
No, it's not that. I'll tell you.
Thanks.
The Comebacks.
Which one was that?
The Comebacks is directed by Tom Brady, the filmmaker, not the
the greatest football quarterback
sportsman.
of all time. Sportsman.
It's a satirical comedy film. It's like a parody, sports movie parody movie. I do not remember this.
You sure it wasn't directed by Sports Tom Brady?
It was not directed by Sports Tom Brady, despite being sports. The Rocker with
Dwight Schrute.
Dwight Schrute, yeah.
What's
Yeah.
his name? Jason Yoakum?
I don't know what his name is.
Rainn Wilson.
Oh, Rainn Wilson. Oh, you forgot of it. You thought his name was Jason Yoakum?
I think I was thinking of Dwight Yoakam and Jason.
Yeah, all right. And Miss March, which was the Whitest Kids You Know film.
R.I.P. Trevor Moore.
Yes. I did not see that. And then
and now Zach Kreger is like a big Hollywood hotshot. He's like from
toast
the
of the
Twisted.
town.
He's white Jordan Peele.
The Twisted Mind of Zach Kreger.
Of white Jordan Peele.
Yeah. Well, I'm certainly curious about his new movie.
Weapons or whatever it's called.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I hope I'm not one of those film Twitter freaks who like has people lined up in their sights, just waiting for them to release a bad movie. I don't want.
We already did.
Well,
I'm just joking. Barbarian was fine.
All right.
Yeah, it was fine.
I don't want people to. I don't want movies to be bad. I want them all to be good. So I'm except for certain certain projects from certain people who will remain nameless until the movies come out and we can make fun of them.
Eddington.
Well, yeah, Eddington would be a good example. Yeah, 12 Rounds, the Rennie Harlan, John Cena action picture.
Don't remember
that was
that
the last one
at all.
And then there were 3 films that were in production before shutting down and then transferred to Fox. I Love You, Beth Cooper, Post Grad, and of course Jennifer's Body, which is probably the best movie of this bunch.
I still haven't seen it.
Oh, you should. Canceled projects. In 2006, it was announced that Fox Atomic was going to make one of their launching films a remake of Revenge of the Nerds.
Oh, that would have been great.
They actually started filming. 2 weeks of filming. An executive at Fox Atomic viewed the film's dailies and made the decision to stop production of the film. Oh, my God.
Well, Fox Atomic as a whole was clearly like some higher up studio exec at Fox, like his nephew or something was like, listen, like I have a vision, like we're gonna make genre pictures.
Yeah, what if Fox was cool?
Yeah, exactly. Yeah.
Well, they had Fox Atomic Comics.
Atomic Comics,
and half of the output is tie-ins with the movies. 28 Days Later, The Aftermath, and The Hills Have Eyes, The Beginning. In addition to something called The Nightmare Factory. Anyway, fuck.
Fox Atomic was probably an awesome place to work.
Yeah, you bet. It was one of those. It was one of the original cool offices where everyone was throwing Nerf footballs around. And,
they had a foosball table.
Yeah, you could drink unlimited Cokes.
Yeah. And they were doing cocaine off each other's breasts.
Yeah, of course, and buttocks. Yeah,
and buttocks. Yeah.
Anyway,
a Fox Atomic picture.
Fox Atomic. I haven't seen another Frenadillo movie. I hope I'm pronouncing his name right, but he's famous for this early 2000s Spanish film called Intacto, which is this like kind of Nolan-esque like mind-bending whatever thriller thing. I don't know. I don't really know what it's about, but it's one of those like DVDs you would see at Blockbuster in the early 2000s all the time for some reason. And he made that Damsel movie for, I don't know, Netflix with Millie Bobby Brown.
Don't know it. Oh, The Electric State?
No, it's called Damsel. I don't know. I don't know what it's. Presumably it's a sword and fantasy film.
This is kind of like a classic thing where like Hollywood will take maybe, I don't know, I haven't seen any of his movies, but like an interesting like foreign director and then give them kind of like a sequel or a remake to a horror franchise or something like that. You know, like I'm thinking of like Alexandre Aja with the Hills Have Eyes remake post like High Tension and stuff like that.
Oh, definitely. I think that's exactly what happened. I think actually Danny Boyle liked Intacto and was like, you should make this.
This is the girl.
2001 Spanish thriller film. It's supposed to be good. I don't know. Maybe I'll watch it sometime.
I could see it being.
Should have watched it for this. That would have been smart.
Yeah, a bit of homework, but
instead I decided to watch 28 Days with Sandra Bullock,
which
directed by the legend Betty Thomas.
Paid off dividends.
Huge bit. All the boys laughing. Huge bit. Everyone loved it.
People are still referencing it online. They're doing hashtag 28 days.
Oh yeah, people are buying shirts that have 28 days, 28 days later, 28 weeks later, and it's huge. Everyone's laughing about it.
2 weeks notice.
2 weeks notice. Yeah, 8 Mile. Adam said that. Yeah,
sure did.
There's all sorts of movies with numbers in them. That's not what we're here to talk about.
Kind of is.
Oh, I guess actually sort of it is, yeah. Okay, very quickly, is there any other movie you've seen? No, right?
I haven't seen anything outside of Pod World.
Pod World, no mercy. I saved one or two.
Please.
Walking Tall. Joe Don Baker, the late great Joe Don Baker, recently passed. So I watched Walking Tall, which was remade with The Rock.
Yeah, I was going to say, like, didn't that have The Rock in it?
Yeah, the original, Joe Don Baker he's kicking ass, and it's worth seeing. Okay. It's pretty fun.
What spurred you to watch that?
Because Joe Don Baker died.
Right, that makes sense.
The lead actor died.
That was
and I had the DVD kicking around.
Dumb question. You don't need you don't need a reason to watch anything. You can just
Yeah,
watch
well,
whatever,
yeah, that's abundantly clear if you look at my letterbox. The Day of the Jackal, the original The Day of the Jackal.
I much prefer the remake with Jack Black.
I have not seen the remake, nor have I seen the new TV series they have.
There's a TV series of The Day of the Jackal?
Yes, there is, with Eddie Redmayne.
God.
Yeah, I know.
They'll just bring out any old fucking like IP.
Apparently, it's not bad. I don't know.
Sure.
Yeah, I know. Who's saying that?
Yeah.
Fucking TV critics?
Yeah.
People whose whole job it is to watch TV all day?
Eddie Redmayne is electric as the Jackal.
Yeah, anyone could fucking do it, right? Yeah. Well, oh god, you people joke like, "What's your job on the communist on the post-revolution commune?" Sowing the fields, whatever. My job is recapping TV episodes.
Yeah.
Right? Yeah. In last night's episode of Day of the Jackal, like more things happened, but we still don't know what finally happens, and we'll find out next week. That's almost all those. Like,
yeah.
Oh god.
I'm just here to tell you that Eddie Redmayne was electric.
Yeah, well, yeah. I mean, that goes without saying, but I'm glad somebody said it.
He can't help it.
This original one, I thought, was, it's just one of those like early examples of a very modern feeling like procedural, cool. Where and I don't know, it's pretty cool. It's just cool. It's just cool watching an elite assassin guy. It feels like the grandfather to a lot of like kind of elite assassin style
Ballerina
movies, Ballerina, for example. Fuck, I should have talked about it on that episode.
You kind of bungled it.
With Tito, I watched A New Leaf, which I'd seen before, the Elaine May movie. I really liked it. It's a good movie to watch again too. It was really funny.
I've only seen Mikey and Nikki.
Oh yeah, well it's a bit of an outlier too, because it's not as funny. I think it's still kind of a funny movie, but it's not like a straight up comedy, right? The Hunted. With Christopher Lambert and Joan Chen. That's just silly, but it's actually pretty good. And that's pretty much it. That's all we have to talk about. We've been recording for like 10 hours straight. So I think we've earned a bit of a break.
We went on a podcast retreat to come up with like really good content.
Yeah.
And like bits and segments for the pod, and it's obviously paying off.
Oh, huge. Yeah. Huge dividends. Yeah, always. That's what it's all about.
The dividends.
The DIVD. The divd.
The D. The I.
divd.
The V. The I. The E. The N.
Yeah.
The D. The S.
Yeah.
The dividends.
The dividends. Always.
Originally,
always.
that song's about Diddy.
Oh, yuck.
Yeah.
That's not right. We'll have to cut that out. Thanks a lot.
Sorry.
More work for Ben, I guess. Just like whatever. Alex will just sit here and go on his rants about how Diddy did nothing wrong. R. Kelly,
hey, I don't know if you heard recently, but it turns out officially Jeffrey Epstein killed himself.
Oh, because they showed us the video, right?
Yeah.
Did you see the video
of
his like dead body?
Did you?
No, but it's just funny that they announced that right when those AI videos are getting pretty crisp, And they're just like, don't worry, we got it.
Yeah.
We got his dead body here, and it looks great. We got the top people in Hollywood. Wait, never mind. No, I mean, of course he killed himself. Who else would have done it?
Right? Yeah, there's no one else there.
There was nobody else there. Yeah.
Where were the guards?
We don't know.
Oh.
Microwaving a burrito or something, Getting a freaking donut.
Chimichanga, yeah.
Well, I'll tell you, life comes at you pretty fast. 28 days goes by like nothing, especially when you get to our age, Yeah. 28 weeks, even faster somehow.
Arguably.
Arguably.
My life is slipping through my fingers.
Oh, yeah, me too.
28
100%.
days and weeks at a time.
Easily. And soon 28 years. And that'll be that.
I'm excited for Aaron Taylor Johnson.
I wouldn't say I'm excited for him, but
Craven the Hunter.
We should really watch that.
I know.
Yeah, I'm craving it.
I'm bummed I didn't see it in theaters.
I know. Oh, we should have seen it in D-Box.
Every time one of those Sony Marvel movies come out,
gone.
they deliver. They are funny.
They've always been good.
Like they're the funny bad movies that are still getting made.
Yeah.
And I never go see them in theaters.
Well, you really should have seen Madam Web.
I know.
Yeah.
I know.
Madam Web was great. Her web connects them all. Never before has someone's web connected them all.
Quite to this extent.
And never again. It might not ever happen again.
I know.
Except for in The Materialist, of course, where her web connects them all. They're all there. It's a love triangle. Her web is literally connecting them all.
Gotcha.
Yeah.
Gotcha.
Yeah. directed by Celine Song.
Friend of the pod.
Friend of the pod.
Celine Song.
We'll get her on.
Oh
we'll
my
get her
God,
on.
I'd love that.
Maybe she listens.
We don't even talk about a movie. Let's just have her dish about how terrible it is to date.
Tell us what it was like to date our friend who we fucking hate. We love
really
you, Sam. We love you.
Skewer him.
That would be funny. Dude, increasingly the podcast becomes less of like a show people should listen to every week and more of like, a torture chamber for our own delights and fancies.
Yeah,
like
a torture garden.
Yeah, exactly. And we can tailor that to one individual. So if we want to make an episode where we really bother Jordan, we'll talk about how we hate Jackie Chan or something. It'll be obviously fake, but we could do it.
Yeah.
We could get it. We could get to him, Or if we want to do that to Sam, we'll just have Celine Song come on and tell us about all of his inadequacies.
Yeah. That'd be our most popular episode. Like,
yeah, it would be huge.
Bar none.
Yeah, and then at the very end, so tell us about the materials. What was it like to work with Dakota Johnson? Does her web really connect them all?
Oh, that's why you were saying that, because it's Madam Web in it.
Yeah, no fucking shit.
I didn't realize it was Dakota Johnson.
You're not watching nearly enough hours of materialist content.
Really know who Dakota Johnson is.
Dakota? What do you mean you don't know who Dakota Johnson is?
I don't think I've
Madam
seen
Web.
her in a lot of things.
You've never seen the 50 Shades movies?
No, I think we should do them on the pod.
We should. The problem is I watched them not that long ago.
You say this about everything.
Well,
I watched it not long ago.
I'll tell you what I've never seen any movie of. Karate
Dakota
Kids.
Johnson?
Karate Kid.
Mm-hmm.
I haven't seen a single Karate Kid movie ever. And the new one's out. And look, here we are doing fucking 28 stupid days, weeks, whatever.
The new one's out.
Yeah. We could have been hot on that.
Her fucking web does connect them all, because if she was in 50 Shades of Grey, that was directed by Craven the Hunter's adult baby mama issue going on there.
Yeah, that's right.
Her web connects us all.
Her web does connect them all.
It's fucking amazing.
It connects all of us. 28 weeks later, it came out in 2007. And as we talked about briefly in the 28 Days Later episode, which feels very much like a post 9/11 film, at least at the beginning, and then a little bit at the end, maybe. The 28 Weeks Later is in the full swing of war in Iraq and Afghanistan. And I think, while maybe not directly commenting on that, certainly has a lot to say about American military interventionism and
like occupation.
And also about declaring the mission accomplished perhaps a little too soon. Which is something that I think actually this movie, that sort of connection really hits, I'm not sure exactly when George Bush was on the air carrier with the banner behind him that said mission accomplished, but I bet it's right around this time, because basically the plot of the movie is like 28 weeks after the infection, all of the zombies rage people have starved and died out because everyone's been evacuated or is dead. NATO troops, the U.S. basically comes in and starts to bring people back in, saying, we've defeated the virus and this and that, right? And of course, everything goes to hell. Yeah.
Really quickly.
Very quickly.
Which is what I appreciated about the movie.
I actually like this movie quite a bit.
I like it a lot too.
Yeah, I think it's good.
I don't have as much, love for it as I do the original.
No.
But I remember watching it in high school also, and being quite into it, and watching it a couple times, and showing my high school girlfriend we should really watch the 28 Days Later movies, because the Weeks is pretty good too, but it's got some fun moments, but I think also some genuinely pretty cool moments over the first film. In some instances. In other ways, it's way more kind of forced and suffers from sequelitis for sure.
Yeah.
But there's some cool visuals in there and some cool moments. And the intro is really fun. It opens with, it introduces the character of Robert Carlyle. The character of Robert Carlyle,
conveniently
his
played
name is
by
Dom.
Robert Carlyle. Yeah.
Dom, I think is his name.
Sure, whatever.
Doesn't matter. It's Robert Carlyle.
Yeah.
And he's got a wife, and they're holed up in some classic rolling UK Hills cottage.
Yeah.
And they're in a house with some other people. and they're like making dinner, and they're like, oh, we're gonna have like pasta and tomatoes for the fucking billionth time, and we're running out of tomatoes. And between them, you find out that they have a couple kids that they sent on a school trip just before all this shit went down, so they're safe. Because the UK, I don't know if you know this, Ben, is an island.
I do.
And people infected with rage, they're so angry, they forget that they can swim or things, you know?
Yeah,
like
they just sink right to the bottom.
So the UK is like, you know, perfectly kind of quarantined naturally.
Yeah.
And there's some great like little character moments where there's like a curmudgeon-y old guy. There's like a woman who's like shell-shocked because she thinks her partner might still be out there or something, and then some old guy's like, shut up, like he's dead, or he's a fucking like angry person, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
And you have a bit of this, and it's cool because it's like they're in a dark house, so you think it's nighttime, but then you find out that it's actually the middle of the day, and they just boarded everything up so no like infected can see them or anything, or any of the lights they use. And then some, you know, kid turns up kind of at their, this kid should just show up to their house or something like that. Yeah. And they're like, oh, they were trying to kill me. And they're like, who? And he's like, my mom and dad, which is another great, like, you know, detail that we were talking about in the first 28 Days Later episode. Like, these movies are kind of sad, you know, and like
very sad. Hearing
this like little boy be like, me mom and pa were like trying to gouge me eyes out, you know. It's like, it's a bummer. Like it's kind of a terrifying idea.
Well, I think, you know, this movie is one of the most dour, like, mainstream horror releases.
It's bleak.
It's really bleak.
Yeah.
And does not have
that was Fox Atomic
the levity that that's it, baby. You're leaning back in the rocking chair. Let me tell you a story about the old company Fox Atomic. That was the Fox Atomic touch. Back in the day, oh boy. I remember.
Back in we had
Miss March.
You remember a little film called Touristas?
You remember? Yeah.
It was riding off the high of Hostel.
You kids don't know how good we had it back then. Touristas.
You keep your Lionsgate and Saw. I'll take my Fox Atomic and Touristas. I'm sorry, you were saying like it's bleak.
Yeah, well,
mainstream.
I mean, so the opening, which is famous probably more than any other part of the movie, and it is something that gets shared a lot as a clip, you know, which I believe it was actually directed by Danny Boyle. I think he was there on set for that and helped direct it.
Wow.
And, you know, ends with them getting, you know, raided by infected, and Robert Carlyle, you know, his wife wants to stay to protect the boy, and Robert Carlyle cuts and runs and leaves his wife to get, you know, beaten to death by these rage monsters
in a real force majeure moment.
Yes, yeah, very much so.
Ruben, we see you, Ruben. Ruben's just biting 28 weeks later.
He took it. Yeah. He took all his great ideas from Fox Atomic Pictures. The square, triangle of sadness. See all those shapes? It's just Fox Atomic.
Yeah, that's so true. But yeah, I mean, you can't really get hung up on the internal logic of these movies, because it's also like, how did Cillian Murphy, like, how did they just leave him in the hospital? Like, how did he survive the like outbreak in the first one, really?
Yeah, whatever.
But obviously, like, you know, this kid didn't just outrun all the infected. Obviously, they're hot on his tail, and they get attacked, and Robert Carlyle ditches everyone.
Yeah.
And there's a great shot of him running to like a motorboat that someone else in the house is like trying to get started, and like infected are coming over the hill, you know, like as they're running like perpendicular to him as he's running away from the house. And he gets to this like dock where one of the people living in the house is trying to start a boat. And in my memory, I think the other guy in the boat just like falls into the water.
Yeah, he doesn't make it.
But in my memory, like Robert Carlyle like jumps onto the boat and like kicks him off, kicks him into the water.
Out of the way, jackass!
Yeah, thanks for the boat, sucker.
Yeah.
You know, and then he, just boats away.
Yeah.
And his wife ostensibly dies.
Yeah, he looks back and sees her she's getting like torn away from the window, and it's a great opening, and it's I think justly famous. And when I went to rewatch it the other day, the opening was the only thing I really remembered, and it's just so impactful. I guess just watching him like run away, and
his cowardice.
He's cowardice, but it's also like he's afraid. He's really like the expression he has is he's like just sheer terror, and then eventually guilt and shame.
Great actor.
He is a great, John Lennon in Yesterday, remember?
Well, the idea that he, like the first time I saw Robert Carlyle was as like Begbie in Trainspotting.
Yeah. You never saw Full Monty?
No, I've never seen Full Monty.
He's pretty cute. It's cute. It's a cute movie.
I bet he's great.
Yeah.
But like this character is like such a like so different from something like Francis Begbie, you know, like he's got great range. This Robert Carlyle guy.
He played Hitler.
In what?
In a weird movie called like Hitler something Hitler. Hitler colon Hitler. Hitler right. The last
Wait,
Hitler
no,
or something.
He played Hitler in Yesterday.
Only I remember the Beatles songs. Yeah, you are mistaken. I remember all the Beatles catalog. It is not. It is you and I will take over. There will be a Fourth Reich. The Third Reich did not work, but the Fourth Reich, propelled by the songs of the Beatles. Their music, we will take none of the lessons from their music. All you need is love. All you need is war. Yeah, that's a great movie. That's a great... Yesterday 2. Yesterday versus Hitler. Because the character's name is Johnny Yesterday, remember?
The idea that it's just like that guy like learning the Beatles songs and then Hitler just shows up and reams them out. Like,
yeah, in a portal he comes out.
I remember Yellow Submarine.
Yeah.
Yellow U-boat.
Yellow U-boat, yeah. We all live in a yellow U-boat. That's
like
great.
the scene where he meets up with the other people who remember the Beatles. And
yeah,
just
one
like,
of them's Hitler. They just pan around the circle and one of them's Hitler. Played brilliantly by Robert
Carlyle, who also plays John Lennon in the same movie.
Yeah, of course, but unrecognizable.
Yeah,
in both, yeah.
Yeah.
No, he played Hitler in a weird TV movie.
I'm sure he was great.
Maybe, I don't know. It's kind of weird.
It's always funny when someone plays Hitler. Like,
it's always it's always funny. Yeah.
Taika Waititi.
Yeah.
Bruno Gans.
Laugh Riot. Yeah. That
was one of the worst bits.
That's terrible. Yeah. That's so stupid. Doesn't even make any sense. It's just stupid.
I too remember the Beatles.
Yeah. You think you're the only one to remember John, Paul, George, and the rest?
Okay. Yeah. So good actor.
Great actor. Anyway, the Americans, in their infinite wisdom, the Americans are the people you want to trust when it comes to invading, creating a militarized zone, occupying a country, and changing things for the better, right? These are the people you call, right? The Americans. And this is a great example of that. They bring in all the jackboot thugs, and
they're trigger happy, these guys.
Yeah. And they all suck. There's an interesting cast, actually. So aside from Robert Carlyle, a.k.a. Hitler.
You got Rose Byrne.
Rose Byrne,
medical officer.
You've got Jeremy Renner.
Friend of the pod.
Friend of the show, yeah. They're number one and 2 users on the Renner app. Me and Alex.
Ren
still
Dog.
going.
Idris Elba.
Idris Elba is the American general guy, I guess, right?
He's British though, so kind of like
he is British.
Sketchy that they did that.
Harold Perrineau, is the helicopter pilot.
Link.
Another very memorable scene where he kills a bunch of the infected with the blades.
So that's a moment that I thought like the first 28 Days Later movie didn't really delve into that kind of. We discussed how it's influenced by video games, but like at no point
exactly.
Yeah, does the helicopter's blades chop a bunch of infected to pieces? And it relishes in that too. You see arms flying everywhere and like faces getting torn off. It's pretty grisly fun.
Yes, it is. We have Catherine McCormick, I guess, is his wife, and then the 2 kids. Right now, we know Imogen Poots, one of the great funny names in the industry. First name Imogen.
Cool
Last
name
Poots. Poots is very funny.
Two cool names.
Two cool names. What if I told you that the kid actor playing her brother has an even funnier name? You wouldn't believe me, right? Because there isn't a funnier name than Imogen Poots.
Is it like super British?
Yes.
Is it like...
I'll give you another hint. It's not only super British. I feel like even in 2007, but especially earlier, his last name in particular would have been difficult in Britain because it contains a word that is in a popular British series of books.
Okay, so it's
You're
like...
not going to guess his name. There's no way you'll guess his name.
Yeah, it's like Perry Snicket.
It's something like that. His first name is Mackintosh. That's not even that.
Yeah, okay. Mackintosh.
Mackintosh. His last name is what? His last name is Muggleton. His name is Mackintosh Muggleton. Muggleton. Mackintosh Muggleton. This poor kid, eh? That's brutal.
Poor son of a bitch.
Yeah.
But he's gone on to have like a really good career.
Oh, Alex, I'm really glad you asked. No, he's in basically zero other movies.
Oh no.
He's in a movie. I spoke too soon. He's in a movie in 2024 as an adult. It's called Salem Witch Doll. It looks bad. He's a DJ and a photographer. Yeah, there you go.
Mackintosh Mugglethorpe?
No. Put some respect on his name. Mackintosh Muggleton. Yeah, I know. Because when I saw Imogen Poots, I was like, "Oh, that's funny. We'll have to make fun of her funny name."
Yeah. Then you scroll a bit further down.
Oh boy.
The fucking gold mine that is
Who the
Mackintosh.
hell is Mackintosh Muggleton? What the name on the tip of every Hollywood executive's tongue? Mackintosh Muggleton. Yeah. The cigar jumping studio guy. Get me Mackintosh Muggleton.
Mac's got to be in the picture.
Yeah. Mackie baby. Muggy baby. You're huge. You got
You'll see your name up in lights.
Yeah, you see your name. Yeah. It's good.
Mackintosh Muggleton is Batman.
We got it, kid. Mackintosh Muggleton is the new Artemis Fowl. Is the new Agent Cody Banks. Like some kid shit like that, you know?
Yeah, Mackintosh Muggleton.
Mackintosh Muggleton. It's just so bad. He's poor kid,
Poor
man.
son of a bitch.
Yeah.
You got to name the episode 28 Weeks Later starring Mackintosh Muggleton.
Yeah, I will do that. The people have to know. Or should I? Should I leave it as a surprise?
Yeah, maybe.
28 Weeks Later starring Hitler and Mackintosh Muggleton. Starring Macklemore.
They make a great team.
Yeah. Oh, yeah.
Hitler is Mackintosh Muggleton's dad in the film.
Could be.
You just wonder, like, why didn't he get like a stage name like Mac Muggs?
That might be a stage name.
Right? Yeah.
Maybe his stage name. Maybe his real name is way more fucked up.
Mac Muggle.
Mac Muggle. Yeah. Anyway,
This poor kid.
It's pretty much all I can think about now. But anyway, what I wanted to get at is all those people we just named, with the exception of Imogen Poots and Mackintosh Muggleton, the two funniest names, everybody else gets killed, right?
Yeah.
Maybe not Harold Perrineau, right? Because he has to fly away at the end. But everybody else gets horribly killed.
Yeah.
And they're helping these kids get out. Basically, it turns out Robert Carlyle's wife is still alive. Mm-hmm. The kids come back as part of the first wave of reintegrating people into Britain, quarantine wave, whatever. And they meet up with their dad, and their dad's like, "Listen, sorry, your mom died. I couldn't do anything about it." Mm. And then mom shows up, and it causes a bit of a problem.
It's a pretty good scene. They sneak out of this heavily quarantined zone somehow, which is the Isle of Dogs.
It is on the Isle of Dogs.
And they go back to their old house, and they find their mom there. And that was
It's creepy too.
It's super creepy. Yeah.
She's like hiding, because you don't know exactly what's wrong with her.
because she is like an asymptomatic carrier. So like she has like the weird, like she has one of her eyes is the weird infected red eye of hate and rage.
Yes. Up to watching Live Leak.
Yeah. And the other one's fine. So they bring them back into quarantine and they're like going to test on her and stuff. And the kids are like freaking out to Robert Carlyle. They're like, you told us she was dead or whatever.
Yeah. Yeah. You said you watched her die.
Yeah. So they're kind of, pressuring him a bit, which I think is kind of unfair. Like they saw the state of the world out there. Like
I don't know.
It's scary.
It's scary, but he probably should have told them the truth.
I guess he, at the very least, he should have done that.
Yeah.
But anyway, somehow he gets to go in and see her or something.
Yeah, because they don't know right away that she can pass on the virus. Right. They haven't figured it out yet.
Rose Byrne wants to experiment on her, and Idris Elba's like, we got to kill her.
Yes. And before they decide to do either of those things, Robert Carlyle gets to visit her and give her a kiss. Yeah. And then he gets infected with rage immediately and beats her to death.
Brutally.
This movie is distressing.
Yeah.
Like it's like relentless and brutal and very violent and propulsive. Like in a way I was quite impressed with for something that I saw probably, back when it came out and never really thought of ever again, except for maybe the first scene and then maybe remembering the helicopter thing, which is so silly. But the actual meat of the movie is just horror, just running away from absolute horror. Like one of the most upsetting scenes is like after Robert Carlyle gets infected and just beats his wife to death after this very complicated reconciliation they have.
I think she hates him.
She does.
I think she knows he's going to get infected.
Do you think? Maybe.
That's the vibe.
I don't know. I don't know if she knows.
I remembered when I was watching it that like it was obviously a faulty memory, but I remember that she like bit him or something like that. That's how I like. So maybe I just had that fake memory in my mind, but when she's like, I love you, she's like glaring at him and she's like so furious.
I don't know. I mean, but how would she know that she could infect, like,
maybe not. I don't know. I just always remembered it like, and
maybe
even now watching it, I was interpreting it that she's kind of like fuck you and like fuck this or something.
Possibly.
Like, yeah.
I mean, if she didn't really think that through, because it basically destroys the entire colony of new people.
Yes.
Because he just goes on a rampage, and that scene where they're like, the Americans are like herding everybody into like a tunnel or bomb shelter or something, right? And they're not letting people go. And then Robert Carlyle just starts running amok, and it's like pitch black, and people are getting bitten and turning into rage monsters and beating the shit out of each other. And what I think is another pretty pointed scene as far as the political reading of the film goes, the Americans just, the decision is to just open fire indiscriminately, right? Which feels to me like a very, very much in the American playbook of imperialism, which is that, well, we better just kill everybody now.
Yeah.
Yeah.
There is a bit of like build up where, the kids, they get to see a bit of the new world and like they see their dad's new apartment or whatever. And he explains a bit.
I sleep in a race car bed.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, it's very Kirk Van Houten coded. But very, very, very quickly, the shit hits the fan. And it hits the fan in a big way. Because like, 1 minute you have Robert Carlyle gets infected, and then all of a sudden like many people are infected, and then you have the like snipers on the roofs, which Jeremy Renner is like a part of, and they're trying to shoot the infected, and very quickly they get the call to shoot everyone indiscriminately, and then before you know it, they're fucking like firebombing London, which is
another quite pointed moment, I think.
Absolutely.
They're just like, all right, wipe them out. Yeah.
That looked really cool. Like the scenes of the flames like spreading in a crisscross like between the buildings and stuff. Like it looked really good for 2007.
And it has a very different visual aesthetic. Like it's shot
lo-fi.
It is shot digitally,
yeah.
I would think, but it's not like it has lo-fi, and it doesn't try to aim to be like 28 Days Later, with the exception, I think, of maybe the first scene, and maybe that's because Danny Boyle was there, which feels a little bit more like in the way that, but the rest of it has a different feel to it, and I think that's a good choice. Yeah, not to just copy that specific visual. Because if you copy that, but you don't have like Anthony Dodd Mantle doing it, like the guy who basically invented doing that, and making it good, I think it would suffer quite a bit.
For sure. And for something, this film has a far larger scale. There's more characters. It kind of involves the city more. It's all about the infrastructure of the quarantine. I remember when the movie came out, they had those like cool posters that just said "Maintain the Quarantine" on them with the Biohazard logo.
Yeah, I'm pretty sure they like.
There's like
I don't
gorilla.
know if they projected it or like chalked it on to like the White Cliffs of Dover. They had a big like quarantine symbol as or like a don't come in sort of whatever.
Damn, that was cool.
Yeah.
They also had that song "Shrinking Universe" by Muse in the trailer.
Nice.
Which Muse, greatest band of our time.
Yeah, Alex and I's favorite band for
yeah,
sure. For sure.
Muse,
definitely. Yeah. If I had to think about it, definitely Muse.
Definitely Muse.
Yeah. Desert Island Discs, definitely 5 Muse albums. Yeah, Muse 1, Muse 2, Muse 3.
That was their naming convention. But yeah, it's just it's a larger scale film, so I just think that really grainy lo-fi photography wouldn't have worked in the same way.
And I think that was also like the difference, the simplicity of 28 Days Later, I think is really benefits, or it works in that film because that film is very like, despite how aggressive it is in a lot of ways and how dour it is in its own way, it's a very human film. It's about like human connection, human relationships, human survival, perseverance, love.
Sure.
It's genuinely about those things. Whereas this movie is about chaos and death.
Yeah.
It's not, there's that family angle to it. But what happens to the family? They
the family implodes on
torn
itself.
apart.
Yeah, it is more about like the infrastructures in place that like fail us or whatever, or like
the people who ostensibly are supposed to protect us.
Yeah,
and a complete structural failure of that protection that then becomes harmful and deadly. Yeah,
and there's a great moment where Idris Elba does call like the code red, and like as douchey as they are, like all the snipers on the roof and stuff are like double checking. They're like, wait, like code red, like even they can't believe it, like already, you know what I mean?
Yeah,
it really humanized them.
Yeah, well, especially Jeremy Renner, who tries to save the day.
Yes,
and gets flamethrowed. don't forget that he gets flamethrowed. Great moment.
Yeah. But yeah, I guess Jeremy Renner spots the little boy, Mackintosh Muggleton.
Don't say his name. Don't say his name. I can't handle it.
Sees him like running down in the chaos, so he like goes down to kind of help them, and then they all kind of meet up with like Rose Byrne, and then there's a few other people involved too, and all those people are slaughtered. Like they're just like zombie fodder or like soldier fodder, and I guess their plan is to like meet Harold Perrineau in like Wembley Stadium to get evacuated or something like that. And along the way, they have to deal with like nerve gas, and then literally just soldiers like walking around with a flamethrower, and they light up Jeremy Renner as he
he's sacrificing himself, pushing the car to get it started, and he gets flamed.
Because Rose Byrne correctly probably deduces that the kids are also like their mom, asymptomatic carriers, and have the potential to cure whatever's going on, which is very The Last of Us. So The Last of Us, I see you. You're also just biting 28 weeks later.
Yep. Strangely influential film.
Strangely, definitely.
Yeah.
But I also like to believe that she wants to protect them at all costs because their names are Imogen, Poots, and
Mackintosh, Muggleton.
Muggintosh, Macklethorpe.
Yeah. Maplethorpe Macklemore. That's his name.
Maplethorpe Macklemore,
yeah. Two named after two of the great artists of our time.
And this all does lead to like what I also think is a really cool scene where they do meet up with Harold Perrineau, and then I don't really get what is implied that happens, but they fly away, and then the final scene of the movie is you see his abandoned helicopter with some like SOS calls coming through on the radio, and then you see infected people running out of the subway and like running towards the Eiffel Tower, kind of signifying the spread of rage to mainland Europe.
Yeah, which I guess is through the Channel, as they say. Would we deduce that?
I guess it must be, but then I was like,
or was there one on the helicopter? I don't think so. That doesn't make any sense.
It's like if the kids were asymptomatic carriers and then they spat on someone or something.
Possibly. Like all great films, it leaves it open for the viewer to come up with their own interpretation. You know,
because there is like a focus on the helicopter for a while, and I was like, what are they trying to suggest with this? Like that
something didn't go right.
Yeah, obviously something didn't go right.
And now they're in France.
And now it's 28 years later.
Ooh la la!
And we're gonna see how the French have dealt with it.
Yeah, we're gonna see all that stuff. I guess this is a proper sequel, and it's going to take into account 28 weeks later. Do you think? Probably.
I hope they treat it as canon.
Yeah.
Like, there's no reason to disregard this movie. It's not
unless they had to be explicit, like, okay, this never did leave England.
Yeah.
Maybe they would rewrite that. Like, because that's not an essential part of the movie. It's just the stinger before the credits, basically.
And I think it's a really cool stinger, like, because
it's a good shot.
It goes back to that kind of Danny Boyle, like, frenetic, like, camera movie. You're kind of like, okay, what's going on? You see people kind of running through a subway system, and you're like, what is this? And then they come out of the subway, and they're at the Eiffel Tower.
It feels like as we spoke in the other episode, the Zack Snyder Dawn of the Dead, where it's kind of like, it's kind of got like, ooh, ah.
Yeah,
like,
totally.
I didn't do that very good, but you know how he sounds, right? Where he goes, ooh, ah, 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 ah.
Yeah, Disturbed.
Yeah.
Get up,
come on, get down with the signal, motherfucker. Yeah. You want to get up?
Yeah.
I used to listen to it all the time.
I was on, I can't remember, I couldn't go, but my guitar teacher offered me tickets to go. He got 2 free tickets to see Disturbed during the Down with the Sickness reunion tour, but I couldn't go for some reason. I can't remember why.
Wow.
But I had to turn him down.
Regret.
I live with regret every day.
Come on, get up and
And what's funny, because it was like the Down with the Sickness 25th anniversary tour. Like, it wasn't the name of like the album or something. It was just like
no, they're gonna play that song 28
times. Yeah. Should have gone.
Yeah.
I think it's a cool moment, the ending. And I don't know. It's also pretty bleak. It's actually a really bleak ending.
Yeah, it's a bleak movie.
Yeah.
It's a nasty movie that hates people. Yeah. I think it's a pretty good, as far as like, a sequel to a horror movie in the 2000s. It's pretty solid. It holds up pretty well. I think whatever kind of political angle it has, I think is only proven to be more and more accurate as time goes on. And I think it's pretty solid.
I'm grateful that it has that angle.
Yeah, me too. Yeah,
I think it makes it a way more interesting film. It's like pretty on the nose about it, but like whatever, it had something on its mind. And they tried something a lot different than that down to the ground story of 28 Days Later.
Yeah.
I wonder what the angle is going to be with 28 years later, Like,
I don't know. I'm kind of looking forward to it, though.
Yeah, me too.
Like, I don't know if I'm holding out hope that it is interesting.
And Danny Boyle's back.
I know. That could be good.
It certainly could be.
We'll let you know on the next episode.
Yeah, that's true. It's only a matter of time.
Yeah.
Yeah, I don't think I have much more to say.
Let's rate it.
I don't know. How many
weeks out of 28?
How many weeks out of 28? Sure, yeah.
You're struggling.
It's a really hard number to rate out of, but does 20 equal relatively like, a nice solid 75? This is a 75% movie. No, okay, maybe a bit more than 20. Maybe like a 20, 22.
I'll give it a 20 out of 28.
I'll give it 21.
Yeah. All right. It's good.
It is good. Oh,
it's good.
It's got the sequelitis in the sense that, like, the kids, they have, like, a showdown in the subway with the final boss infected, and it's their dad.
Right.
So, and that stuff is like, what a fucking coincidence that the one fucking infected to show up at the end to terrorize them is their father or something.
Yeah, I don't know, though. That sort of thing doesn't bother me too much because it's terrifying. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like the coincidence, the convenience of it, sure, but the idea behind it is like really unsettling. So it worked for me.
No, it's not like a deal breaker or anything like that. It was just a coincidence like that would like never have happened in 28 Days Later. But that's why they're different movies.
Yeah. Okay. Fair enough.
So
yeah. Well, we'll find out if there are many such coincidences or conveniences or contrivances.
Cameo.
Potentially in 28 years later. And then
Will they bring back Mackintosh
Muggleton? I sure hope so. I don't think so, though.
I really hope so, too. I hope he's canon.
And yeah, we'll see. It'll be fun to see a horror movie in the theaters, right?
That's true. Last one I saw was Final Destination Bloodlines, which was great.
Yeah, which was not that long ago.
Yeah.
Still.
So bring on more of them.
Yeah, bring it on. And yeah, I hope you are enjoying the series. And please go and see 28 Years Later so you can play along with us. And then similar to what happened with Ballerina last week.
Okay.
In a year or 2 years or whatever.
Whenever the Bone Temple comes out.
We're gonna fucking go to the Bone Zone, baby. Me, Alex, a special guest.
The three guys from
the three lads
Truth
from
or
Liverpool
Dare.
from Truth or Dare. We're gonna go and see the frickin' Bone Temple, and then a third movie as well for some reason. So can't wait. Until then, don't get infected with rage. Like, there's so many different things you can do to not feel rage.
Or if you do, find a, positive outlet for it. Channel that rage into...
jerking off.
Beat your meat like it owes you money.
Yeah.
Or,
you never see one of the rage things beat his own meat. Do you? Maybe that's what the Bone Temple's about. Surely that's what the Bone Temple's about.
That's what's going on at the Bone Temple.
We know what's going on in the Bone Temple.
They like violently projectile vomit blood and then just splooge everywhere.
Yuck.
Okay.
Yeah. No, that's too far. We will see you next year in the Bone Temple.
Has taken me far away from the memories of the people who care if I live or die. The starlight, I will be chasing a starlight until the end of my life. I don't know if it's worth it anymore. Conspire to ignite all the souls that would die just to feel alive. I'll never let you go if you promise not to fade away, never fade away. Our hopes and expectations